I'm Frank Bradley, but people just call me Brad Jessup, and I'm the director of the School of Fine Arts here at East Central. I don't know if you noticed, but at the beginning of the school year, usually around October, the faculty does a show. And in art schools, this is sort of a tradition that goes back years. What happens is that the faculty will essentially do a show of the fields that they teach, establishing their credibility. And then the students are asked to follow up in the spring, showing their accomplishments in response. So it's like a call and response kind of thing. Good art schools have done this for 120 years, maybe even longer. We've been doing it for 64.
My video piece, Rebirth, is about my personal journey throughout college and learning myself and my practice, who made me a completely different person and who I am now, and a development into who I'm going to be. In the video, I am surrounded by candles, and I paint my face through repetition, mirrored movements to cover my whole face, and then I start putting different markings over under my eyes.
My name is Taryn Chubb, and I'm acting chair of the art department. I'm the art historian on campus, and I, like a lot of art historians, I love art. So we have a number of scholarships, about 14, that former students have endowed and former faculty have endowed, and sometimes former students have endowed in honor of faculty. And those awards are given to students every year from the foundation, and they're given on the basis of the work that they've been doing, the work the students have been doing throughout the year, and the progress they're making. And in some ways, it's a way for the department to say, we believe in the work you're doing and we want to support it in the year to come.
The 4 Leon Puck Smith scholarships, for example, Leon put those forth back in the 90s. And he's from Stonewall, Oklahoma, and I think it's interesting, he grew up around Stonewall, and then he was involved in the Stonewall riots in New York. Kind of a weird bookend in his life. He was also involved in the gay rights movement, but he was also involved in the civil rights movement in the 50s and 60s. And so he put that forward to help give people a leg up, especially marginalized groups. Emma Box was a faculty member here for a long, long time, and she did that because she just wanted to recognize someone who was doing good work. The Grant was a faculty member here who passed away at a really untimely death. He was only in his 40s, and kind of similar to what happened with Sam Dillahay not very long ago here. And so the students got together and put together a fund, and that supported that scholarship. It's given to someone who's kind of active in the community. The Loretta Yin Scholarship, for example, that's the Ada Artists Association Loretta Yin Scholarship. There's been a long relationship between the Artists Association and Art Club. In fact, the Ada Artists Association is basically Art Club grown up, and when they moved out, they started that. And so that relationship has, they wanted to recognize that and support students. So Loretta was the primary person that supported that one, so that's why that bears that name. The Kendall is there for, again, just as a recognition of quality work. And, the Landrum, Marcus Landrum, who ran Landmark Banks, named that part for his mother, and part bears his name. Mark Landrum, his mom was a faculty member here, and he owned Landmark Banks here in Oklahoma. He also owned First National Bank in Missouri and a couple of banks out on the West Coast. And he said, I was a banker for my dad, but I collected art for my mom. And so all his banks have a pretty extensive art collection. And then, in fact, when he passed away, he gave a third of his collection to East Central, a third to OU, and the other third to Yale. So that's always kind of cool too. And so that reflects his interest in sculpture, and so it goes to a sculpture student. The best thing to prepare as an artist is to work. Work all the time, make stuff. And when you're done making stuff, then read about it and study up on it. My most successful students, the ones who are professors at other institutions now, all worked an enormous amount. I mean, produced 70, 80, 90 pieces a semester. One of them read every book in the library, literally every art book in the library, 5,000 books while he was here. So yeah, I mean, so read, study, look at YouTube, make stuff.